Have you ever stared at an ancient monument and wondered what secrets it might be hiding right beneath your feet? What if the ground under one of the world's most revered sites held clues that could rewrite history, challenge faiths, and spark endless debates? Today we're diving into the enigmatic world below Jerusalem's Temple Mount, a place where archaeology meets mystery, and every new find leaves us questioning everything we thought we knew. But here's the hook. What if the latest discoveries aren't just relics from the past, but keys to understanding conflicts that still rage today? Stick around, because by the end, you'll see why these underground revelations could change how we view religion, power, and human ingenuity forever. Let's start with the basics to set the stage. What exactly is the Temple Mount? It's a sprawling plateau in the heart of Jerusalem's Old City, revered by Jews as the site of two ancient biblical temples, first built by King Solomon around 3,000 years ago and later expanded by King Herod. Muslims know it as Haram al-Sharif, the noble sanctuary, home to the iconic Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque. Where does this all unfold? Right in Jerusalem, a city that's been a crossroads of empires, religions, and wars for millennia. Why does it matter so much? Because this spot isn't just holy ground, it's a symbol of identity for billions, where politics and spirituality collide in ways that have sparked conflicts throughout history. And how has it remained so mysterious? For centuries, direct excavations beneath it have been off-limits due to religious sensitivities and geopolitical tensions, forcing experts to get creative with indirect methods. Imagine standing atop this hill, feeling the weight of history pressing down. But what if I told you that below the surface lies a labyrinth that could hold remnants of those legendary temples? Archaeologists haven't been able to dig straight under, but they've pieced together astonishing evidence from the edges, debris, and advanced tech. These finds aren't random, they're building a picture of a hidden world that's been sealed for thousands of years. As we explore, you'll see how each discovery raises more questions than answers, pulling you deeper into the intrigue. One of the most tantalizing breakthroughs comes from the Temple Mount sifting project. What happened here? In the late 1990s, tons of soil were removed from the site during renovations, illegally dumped but not wasted. Who turned this into a goldmine? Israeli archaeologists like Dr. Gabriel Barkay and Zaki Devira launched a massive sifting effort where volunteers and experts combed through the rubble. When did this start yielding results? Over the years, but fast forward to 2025, and they've uncovered over 500,000 artifacts. Where were these found? In the discarded earth from the mount itself, now sifted at a dedicated site nearby. Why is this project a game changer? Because it bypasses the no-dig rule, revealing fragments that connect directly to biblical times. How do they do it? By meticulously washing and sorting every speck of dirt, turning trash into treasure. Among the pottery shards, coins, and jewelry, a tiny clay seal emerges in 2025. What is it? A bulla inscribed with Yediah, son of Asiyahu, dating back 2,600 years to the First Temple period. Who might this Yediah have been? Possibly a figure linked to names in the Book of Kings, bridging scripture and real history. Another find, a 2,700-year-old black stone seal with a winged deity and Hebrew letters, blending Hebrew and Assyrian styles. Why does this matter? It hints at cultural exchanges during empires' clashes, showing how ancient people mixed influences while clinging to their faith. These small objects whisper stories of priests, kings, and everyday folk. But what else might be buried deeper? If fragments like these survived in the debris, imagine what's still intact below. Now let's shift to something massive that solved a 150-year puzzle. What was discovered? A colossal moat carved into bedrock, 9 meters deep and 30 meters wide. Where? Just below the southern edge of the Temple Mount in the city of David. When? Unearthed in early 2025 by archaeologists excavating the area. Who made this find? Teams from the Israel Antiquities Authority, piecing together clues from historical texts. Why was it built? To separate the royal and temple areas from the lower city, serving as both a physical barrier and a spiritual boundary, protecting the sacred from the profane. How was it constructed? With astonishing precision, including drainage systems, likely during the late First Temple period around 800–600 BCE. But here's where the curiosity builds. As they cleared the moat, they found pottery and arrowheads from the Babylonian siege in 586 BCE. What does that suggest? Evidence of Jerusalem's dramatic fall, when the city was besieged and the temple destroyed. Standing at its edge today, you can't help but wonder, why go to such lengths for defense? Was it just military strategy, or a deeper symbol of faith under threat? And if this moat guarded the mount's approaches, what other fortifications might lurk unseen, waiting to reveal more about ancient battles? Speaking of hidden spaces, consider the carved chambers unearthed nearby. What are they? 8 stone rooms dating back nearly 2,800 years, with altars, drainage channels for offerings, and niches for sacred items. Where? South of the Mount, in an excavation site. When? Discovered recently, linking to the era of King Hezekiah around 715-686 BCE. Who used them? Likely for rituals or private worship before being sealed off. Why seal them? Researchers think it ties to Hezekiah's reforms, centralizing worship at the main temple and closing peripheral shrines, a biblical shift from scattered cults to unified faith. How were they preserved? Deliberately plugged with stones and debris as if frozen in time. This raises a chilling question. What motivated someone to hide these rooms? Was it to protect secrets during reforms or something more mysterious? As we ponder that, it builds the intrigue. What if similar chambers exist directly under the mount, untouched and holding artifacts that could confirm or upend religious narratives? Since direct digging is forbidden, how are experts peering inside without touching a stone? Enter montomography, a cutting-edge technique. What is it? It uses cosmic particles called muons to detect voids in dense materials, like an X-ray for the Earth. When was it tested here? In a 2025 pilot study at the City of David, near known cavities like Jeremiah's cistern. Who led this? Scientists collaborating with archaeologists, adapting tech that famously revealed a hidden corridor in Egypt's Great Pyramid. Why use this? It's non-invasive, respecting sensitivities while mapping underground densities. How does it work? Detectors track muon paths, empty spaces alter them, creating 3D images. The results? They spotted voids and irregularities invisible to radar. Now imagine applying this closer to the mount. What hidden chambers or tunnels might it uncover? Could it outline lost parts of Solomon's temple? The possibility alone is mind-blowing, teasing revelations that could come without disturbing the site. But will permissions allow it? That uncertainty keeps the suspense alive. Tunnels add another layer of fascination. What lies below Jerusalem? A network of ancient passages, escape routes, water systems, and possibly ceremonial paths. Where? Crisscrossing under the old city, some nearing the Temple Mount's foundations. When were recent ones explored? In 2024, a robotic camera probed a collapsed tunnel near the western wall. Who sent it? Archaeologists from ongoing excavations. The footage? Smooth limestone blocks and staircases, possibly from the First Temple era, angling toward the mount. Why build them? For practical needs like drainage, like Hezekiah's tunnel, or rituals, allowing priests discreet movement. How precise? Engineered with mathematical accuracy, hinting at advanced skills. Rumors persist of sealed passages hiding treasures, unverified but persistent across centuries. As tech improves, what truths might emerge? Each tunnel branch expands the map, suggesting a subterranean city as complex as the one above. If these connect to the mount, could they lead to undiscovered shrines? On the Ophel Ridge between the City of David and the mount, subtle clues emerge. What builders' marks, faint engravings on massive stones? When? Documented in 2025 on ashlars from Herod's era. Who left them? Stonemasons' tracking work during the temple's expansion around 20 BCE. Why? To organize crews and monitor progress, revealing methodical planning. How do they help? By clustering identical marks, experts reconstruct building sequences. These aren't just scratches, they're human signatures, reminding us of the laborers behind the grandeur. Diverse symbols suggest a multicultural workforce, Judean, Nabatean, Greek. Digitally preserved now, they bridge monumental history and personal stories. But what if more marks hide below, detailing forgotten phases? Fortifications tie it all together. What was found? Connected walls and towers in the Gevati excavation. Where? South of the Mount. When? In 2025, linking fragments into a defensive line from the 6th century BCE. Who? Builders fortifying against sieges, with artifacts like a bulla inscribed Shafan, tied to temple administration. Why integrate defense with bureaucracy? In ancient Jerusalem, walls protected both people and faith. How? Massive stones fitted without mortar, cut into bedrock. Scarred by fire, they echo survival stories. This shows the Mount wasn't isolated, part of a fortified spiritual landscape. Intriguing, right? If walls guarded approaches, what protected the core? The Greek fortress Acra adds conquest layers. What? Walls, arrowheads, and coins from Antiochus IV's era. Where? Near the city of David. When? Excavated recently, confirming its 2nd century BCE location. Who built it? Seleucids to control the Mount during occupation. Why? A symbol of dominance, sparking the Maccabean revolt. Destroyed and buried, its remnants prove power shifts. How was it raised? Burned and repurposed, burying foreign rule. This reshapes views of resistance. But what other occupation traces linger below? Robinson's Arch on the west. What? A Herod-era support for a staircase to the Mount. Below? Vaults and passages, possibly linking to deeper voids. Scans hint at cavities, teasing connections to subterranean chambers. A sealed shrine nearby. What? Altars and vessels from Hezekiah's time, untouched for 3,000 years. Announced in January 2025, it fits reforms closing local sites. Eerie preservation raises why devotion or concealment. Clay seals abound, names like Yediah linked to antiquity, blending cultures. They humanize history, but what undiscovered seals await? Experts theorize chambers for treasures, priest tunnels beneath. Ancient texts align with logic. Challenges, politics, stability, layered history. Patience yields more than force. Jerusalem's a stacked city. 3D models show intentional layers. The Mount guards secrets with tech promising more. Yet, some mysteries endure, reminding us of wonder. What do you think? Push boundaries or leave untouched? The underground calls. Will we answer? Beneath Jerusalem, Astonishing Temple Mount, lies more than stone and history. It is a vault of secrets that could rewrite everything we know about faith, power, and civilization itself. Every artifact, tunnel, and sealed chamber draws us closer to truths buried for thousands of years, yet also reminds us how much remains hidden. Should we keep digging for answers, or respect the silence of the sacred? The decision could shape how we understand not just the past, but humanity's future. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys into the world's greatest mysteries.